All right, welcome back to Project Management Guerrilla Tactics 101. How to act like a PM when you're not really one. As usual, my first task is always to move my face up, away from closed caption. We have gone through almost an hour of different things from the three basic tools to also get into detail of communication and also what is a project manager. In this slide, what I want to talk about is two things specifically. One is about managing all the moving parts. The other one is about dealing with the unexpected. So managing moving parts, there are a couple of moving parts on this project, aren't there? There is what are the tasks going on? And we're going to talk about this. What tasks are going on? You need to be able to understand what people are doing at various steps, not to the nth degree. You need to have a high level understanding. At the same time, you need to be making sure you're updating your RAID tracker and you're pushing any issues or concerns or things that are outstanding here as well. So that's another moving part. So you have action items that are being completed, you have risks that are being identified, you have risks that are being closed. All this needs to be updated at the same time you're updating your task tracker. And then finally, what you need to do is make sure you're communicating out on your status report. That is really important. The status report is important because it is what tells people what you're doing, when you're doing it, and how you're doing it. And that is why um, things happen correctly. So let's also talk about, let's go to my next slides. Which is dealing with the unexpected. How do you deal with what you don't know is going to happen until it happens? Well, you do have a little bit of an idea because you did track some things you thought might happen, but this is totally unexpected. Maybe the power went out in your company for a week and now you're behind. That's the unexpected. One of the ways I say is keep actively involved in tracking your items on your project. If you get delayed, track what happened, why it happened, and move on. That's why those tracking sheets are really important. You need to be actively involved. Also, excuse my language, the shit will happen. You got to roll with it. You got to be able to document it and attack that issue or that item separately from the project. Right? It is kind of when we go to the moon and something happens, it's not just understanding the whole thing, but trying to solve that little problem so that you can move forward. Try not to blame. It's easy to blame. Yeah, this happened, management delayed, but what are we going to do to fix it? How we're going to fix it? People will ask you, well, how did it happen? Yeah, management was we didn't get this approved in the time we needed it, which is why we're delayed. You can still say what happened without being judgmental. If you stay calm, your team will stay calm. I have been in a situation where everything goes up the creek, and I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I'm like, it's okay. So tell me what we can do about this. And now I start into solutioning, working with my team and solutioning the issue. Maybe that vendor you selected for picking the express system went out of business, and you just sunk $10,000. All right, what are our options? I may say, can we still implement the system and move in the future, a short term and a long term? So I'm going to put some proposals out there, and my team is going to help develop what that is going to look like so that we have something to give to leadership. And it may not be pretty, and you may tell leadership, it is so not going to be pretty. But you need to document and go on. One of the things I always tell people is, as project managers, we are about reporting and tracking what's going on. That's it. If it went south, it went south. We can't hide that. What we can say to people is, yes, it went south, and this is how we're going to prevent it in the future. This is how we're going to fix it, or this is how we're going to adjust the project. Sometimes it may even be there's nothing we can do. We're just we can either stop the project or and cancel it, and that may be an option. So don't be worried if you think, oh my God, it went to crap and it's all my fault. As long as you keep communicating, it's not your fault. And that's why it's so important to keep communication open. Because you don't want people to say, well, why didn't you let us know it was going south? We could have helped you, and we could have done this, and we could have done that. Yes, I've had projects that have gone totally south, and we've only accomplished a small goal of this big project, and we've spent a lot of money. And sad as this was, all I can say is, you guys knew this was a problem, or maybe I could have communicated better. And there have been instances where I could have communicated better. You learn. Don't take it personally as a PM. It happens because unexpected happens. Roll with it. There's so much to project management, and this is really just the beginning, but I think it's a great way to start. You'll start learning what to track and how to track, and developing your own cadence for tracking. One thing I want to make sure you all know is keep it simple. Track what you need to track, and initially you might be tracking 1,000 things, and then thin it down. You'll always be doing this with tracking. Right? You'll be expanding. Oh, that's too much. Let me contract. Oh, wait. Let me expand again. Oh no, and it's that right level. And each project is going to be a different level depending on the complexity. We are talking about simple to medium projects here, so there shouldn't be that. If you track like this, it's going to take all of your time. You want to track at that right level, at the right level of making impact. As they said, you don't want to kill an ant with a sledgehammer. You want to make sure you have that right level, and that does take time. We do have other courses we're going to be putting out, but this is the first one because I wanted to give people the basics of project management. I'd love to hear your successes. There's my email address. So please contact me, send me an email, let me know how things are going. Also, let me know what else you want to learn about project management. I'd love to do webinars that are helpful because I think project management is accessible to everyone. Let me say that again. Project management is accessible to everyone. Even if you haven't worked in the workforce in 20 years and you're going back in, you could have run a household with kids and budgets and being their transportation, or run your recluse. You did some project management work. You never called it that. So now it's time to get in there and start calling a project a project. Thanks for joining me, and look forward to seeing you on our next classes.